Thank you all very much. Thanks to the Satellite Club, and of course, thanks to the audience who took the time away from your personal lives to come and hear what we have to say. I am Josie Gail Frank, daughter of the late Dr. Joshua G. Frank and Mrs. Mary Ann Frank. I am the mother of 2 sons, grandmother of 6 grandchildren, and I want to be your next Eunice City Court judge. I am a lifelong member of Eunice, Louisiana. I did leave Eunice to go to school. I went to school in Boston, Massachusetts. I got a master's degree in Baltimore, Maryland, but I knew I wanted to practice law in the state of Louisiana, so I returned home to attend law school in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I have been here working the entire life period of 34 plus years, working as a licensed attorney in our community. Thank you kindly.
Good evening, I'm Terry Wojcik, and I've been an attorney here in Eunice for 36 years. And you know, it's one of those strange things, you never plan on things on your own, but as you seek God's will in things, things just sometimes happen differently. And I felt a call to run for city judge kind of late in my career. But that's what I'm running because I felt that's what he wanted me to do. And I'm being obedient. And I see a need. I've walked the streets of Eunice since April the 1st. And in meeting the folks of Eunice, I know there's a substantial need to help our youth. And I know I can make a difference with the kids, and I'll go into the schools to help do that. So I just appreciate your support. Thank you.
Good evening, Eunice, Satellite Club members, distinguished panel. I'd like to thank you as well for being here and inviting us to this event. I think it's a very worthwhile event to have the public hear what the candidates have to say and their positions on various things. I'm 54 years old. I'm a lifelong resident of Eunice. My time away from Eunice was spent when I served 4 years in the Marine Corps. That was an objective for me to secure funding for me to attend college to further my education. I returned to Eunice after finishing my undergraduate degree in Baton Rouge and achieving my law degree from Loyola. I've been practicing law for 23 years. I've served 18 years in Eunice City Court in a variety of capacities. I have a proven record of addressing the needs, meeting the needs of the Eunice community. Thank you very much.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you all again, the Satellite Club, for putting this on. What a great event. Again, look at all the people here that are interested in leaving their families and their homes to come out and hear what we have to say. And one other thing, I was commenting to another candidate earlier, I'm so impressed with the number of candidates in all the different offices running. Look, for city judge, there's 4 of us, and the chief of police, there's 5 or 6, there's a whole bunch. And there's candidates for almost every contest, every race that's up is being contested. And I think it's a renewal for our city, for our community, for what we stand for. I was born and raised here in Eunice. There have been Browns here for many generations. A lot of people I've talked to knew my grandfather and my great-grandfather. I'm from Eunice. I know its people. I know our culture and our traditions. I've been practicing law for a little over 15 years. I have the experience. I have the education. And I have the mindset and the understanding of what we want to do here in this community. So I look forward to answering the questions of the committee. Thank you.
Question 1 will go to City Judge candidate, Ms. Josie Frank. Why do you choose, or why did you choose to become a candidate for the position of City Judge?
I selected to run for the office of Eunice City Court because, 1, I'm qualified. I have 34 years of practice in all areas of the law. And in that 34-year range, I have been an attorney for legal services. I've been assistant district attorney, in which I serve as a city prosecutor for the Opelousas City Court under Morgan Godot. I've worked on the Indigent Defendant Board. I've had a private practice. I'm a federal arbitrator. I'm a certified mediator by the Supreme Court of Louisiana. And I'm presently serving as the hearing officer for the St. Landry Parish. So as far as legal experience, having worked in the various areas of the law, I have that. I also have proven leadership ability. I'm presently the president of the St. Landry Parish School Board, where we work with a over $1 million budget. Thank you very much.
The question was, why did I
Yes.
decide? But I kind of answered that in my opening statement, really because God told me to. And in telling me to run, like I said, I noticed the need is there, and the answer for the need is to go into the schools, teach the kids there's a different way to live your life. The problem that we see is a cycle that these children have of repeating the same activity. They don't understand there's a different way to live life. So as city judge, I will go into the schools, teach them, build relationships with the kids, bring in mentors, bring in police officers, and try to just build that relationship so that we can get back the pride that people have with and have the respect for law enforcement, respect for the judicial system, and have that, again, build that relationship so that we can get along and so that we can make a difference and impact with the kids.
Thank you.
I've dedicated a significant portion of my career to service in Eunice City Court. I've been fortunate enough to be an assistant DA over the last 10 years and a city prosecutor the 8 years prior to that. In the time that I've spent, I've served the city of Eunice, the people of Eunice, in that capacity. I've had the opportunity to personally witness the struggles that many face, the difficulties that many face. And it reminded me of some of the difficulties and challenges and shortcomings that I had encountered in my life. And I knew that I was equipped with the tools, the disposition, the temperament, and the desire to be a full-time city judge. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Again, why would I want to be city court judge? And you have a minute to answer, so I'm going to be as quick as I can. As a young lawyer, when I was working for the first time as an assistant district attorney, working city court, it was during the train derailment years, and the city court prosecutor was Mr. Daigle, and he couldn't prosecute because he was part of the train derailment committee, which I wasn't, so I was able to bounce in there and take his place. And during that time, I had the great privilege of working city court, and mostly working with the juvenile court. In that time, I realized the need, the significant need for a program, for something better for our juveniles. In the later years of my career, I've been the prosecutor for the St. Landry Parish Adult Drug Court, and what I want to do is bring that type of program to our city court. If elected as your city court judge, we will bring a juvenile drug court to Eunice City Court. Thank you.
The next question, gentlemen, is, do you have any plans on having the day and time of our present city court operation changed?
Thank you very much. Yes, I do plan to change the time and the operation of Eunice City Court, simply because I do not think that families or parents should be in Eunice City Court when they should be home with their children, trying to assist them to do homework, do a dinner together, and try to have some quality family time. Therefore, I will not hold court beyond 6 p.m. I will instead offer Saturdays, 2 Saturdays of each month. I will offer to the citizens access to the city court process from 10 to 2 p.m. simply because it's an alternative to missing a day from work are taking off from time of doing something else that's of quality. So I look forward to serving you. I look forward to seeing you on Saturdays. And that's my plan. Thank you.
I too will make changes. Monday night City Court is one of the first things I ask folks about, and I haven't found anyone who likes it. Most people find it scary to leave the building after dark, and it's a simple fix. Have more court during the week, during daylight hours. I will do that. My office practice will be limited to very little office practice. And so I will give the time necessary to have court time like everybody else and have it during the week. I'm not doing Saturdays, Tuesdays. So I don't expect you to do Saturdays either. We'll have it during the week like everybody else. Thank you.
I too will make changes to the operations of the Eunice City Court. Once again, in my 18 years of experience up there, working until 3 a.m. And getting up to go back to work the next day isn't a pleasant experience necessarily. That is why I'm the only candidate that is committed to be a full-time judge. I will surrender my private practice and devote and dedicate my entire work schedule to the needs of the people of Eunice. We have a beautiful courtroom, and we have the opportunity to address the needs of you fine people. With a little bit of help from the legislature, we can increase our jurisdictional limits in civil matters and have your civil matters heard in Eunice by a judge that is elected by you, not one of 4 district court judges who you may not even know. Full-time judge, full-time city court.
Yeah, thank you. That question seems to be asked a lot as I'm walking the streets and meeting people. And, are you going to still have court on Monday nights? Well, the answer to that is not as simple as just changing from Monday nights to Monday during the days or the Thursdays. Of course, I understand fully the reason why Judge Young and Judge Futch had done it at night. I mean, they didn't want the people that had employees that were going to court and had to miss work to go to court. Well, the time of that may have passed, and there definitely needs to be a look at whether or not we need to move the court up in time. And that's definitely something that if I'm fortunate enough to be elected, I will definitely look at. But first I will talk to the attorneys that work the city court. But one thing I want to make sure is that the victims of the crimes are for it. If their time is much more valuable than the criminal's time. So I'm going to make sure that whatever is best for the victims in these crimes is what we'll do in the city court. Thank you.
Thank you.
Final question. I guess I'll start with Ms. Josie as well. Name your 2 primary focuses should you be elected city judge.
My first primary focus is to decrease the number of repeat offenders. If anyone is familiar with the city court system, you will begin to recognize a certain group of people who periodically comes to the system. Those persons are making those fine payments and going to jail for 6 months, and then they are out for a week or 2 and then back 6 months again. The same parties present themselves. I think that the city court has the responsibility to do more than just punish. I think that we have an obligation to rehabilitate. We have an obligation to educate. So I plan to have programs such as a GED program, as an example, a sobriety program, which is going to be for children, juveniles, as well as adults. Because I don't know if you recognize it, but we do have an alcoholism problem in our city. Thank you, Connie.
As you might have guessed, my first focus is going to be on education, going into the schools and teaching the kids. Secondly, will be to work with those who are already in trouble and doing the counseling, but locally, having our own group of people who will do the counseling, teaching them again that there's a different way to live life, providing resources for them here so that we can help them understand and live a better life and be able to provide for them means by which they can get back into society so that they don't have the black mark of having had a record, and so that they get out and be productive citizens. The other thing will be to organize city court a little bit more than what it is, to be able to make it function. And then that goes into the Monday night court, that goes into bringing it up to date so that we're scanning documents, we're bringing it up computer-wise, and just getting it to function a little bit more efficiently than what it is.
My two primary areas of focus will be, one, to bring into the fold those for too long have believed they are disenfranchised. Equal justice for all. That is why I have not taken a single penny for any campaign contributions. Not everybody can afford to make a campaign contribution. But I want everyone to know that they have the same power, their vote. And with that vote, they can elect a judge who will administer fair and equal justice for all. The second area of focus, in my 18 years in city court, I've identified shortcomings that many have that lead to offenses. I have a plan for the SEAMS program, sober, educated, accountable, motivated for success. Take a part of the existing structure, make a classroom to educate.
Thank you. Yes, I do have a plan. For the past 8 years, I've been fortunate to be the prosecutor of our St. Landry Parish Adult Drug Court Program. Right now, the recidivism rate in St. Landry Parish, if you send someone to prison in St. Landry Parish, the recidivism rate is 60%. 60% of those people that go to jail are going to come back and commit another crime. If they come through our drug court program, the recidivism rate is 4.2%. It's less than 5%. To me, it's a no-brainer. We utilize the programs that we have in place, our drug court. We send people with the dependency issues. If you look at the stats, 90% of all crimes, because somebody has a dependency issue, you resolve those issues with professionals who know what they're doing. The same thing holds for our juveniles. There's a handful of juvenile drug courts in the state of Louisiana. We have concurrent jurisdiction over juveniles in Eunice City Court. We will bring a juvenile drug court to Eunice City Court. The recidivism rate numbers are even more dramatic. But just know this, through our drug court program, we can make a huge difference for our children and for our community. Thank you.
At this time, would all the candidates give your closing remarks?
I want to say to you that on November 4th, I need your vote. My number is 233. I am the only candidate at this table who has judicial experience. And when I say that to you, no, I'm not a judge, but I am the hearing officer for St. Landry Parish and have been serving in that position since 2003. So if you're looking for experience, 34 years of practice in law, 2003 to now, conducting court, conducting hearings, sentencing people, finding contempt, all of what you do at the Eunice City Court, then try me. My number is 233. I ask you to look for the best, and you'll know. Josie Frank, thank you.
How do you follow that?
I can't beat that. I told her, so that sounded just like an ad. That was just really
You want to start your time here. It's all in fun.
She did so good.
Yeah.
And I got to follow you with that. Look, it really is a simple deal. The city court is a serious place of business. You've got people, young people, getting in trouble for the first time. It's going to be the first opportunity for someone to make a difference. I'm there for one reason. I want to make a difference in their life. It's the only reason. I don't need the job. I've done really well as a lawyer, but I'm being called to make a difference. I've got all the experience, actually more than any of these guys. And it's simple. I want to make a difference with the kids. I don't want to spend your money. I want to spend my time with the kids. We don't need programs. We don't need to revise things. We need a judge who will spend time with them and teach them there's a different way to live your life. Number 2, 3, 4. Listen to that part.
We have an advertising executive and a community director, and I get to follow both of them.
Bring it on.
Eunice City Court Judge is not a hobby. It demands. The demands of the people of Eunice require a full-time judge. We have no need for a juvenile drug court. Let's keep the kids off of drugs to start with. Let's educate. Let's hold them accountable. Let's motivate them. Let's teach them what it is to be successful. Let's teach them what it is to be prepared to be educated when they get to school. We have an opportunity. I have witnessed the need personally. I've had the privilege of being involved in families' lives as an assistant DA. I know what it takes. I've done it for 10 years. No on-the-job training needed. Jay Caswell, number 232.
Thank you, and thank y'all again for having us. But I respectfully disagree with my opponents. I think there is a need for programs. I think there is a need to have professionals deal with real problems. People who are trained. I watch it every week in our adult drug court. I disagree with my opponent. I think we do need a juvenile drug court. Look, we have children with real problems, real dependency issues. The numbers are staggering. You send a child to juvenile prison, 89% of the time he's going to commit a crime as an adult. You send him through a juvenile drug court program, the recidivism rate is less than 6%. We do need programs. Can't do it. I can't counsel every child as a judge. It's not your job. There are people that is their job. My opponent mentioned fair and equal justice for all. That's been on my literature since March, so I'm glad you brought it up. Vote for me, Paul Brown. Fair and equal justice for all, especially the children. Number 231.